All right, today we are diving into what might just be the single most valuable skill in our economy right now, deep work. We're talking about the ability to focus, like really focus, without distraction on a tough task. You know, in a world that feels like it was literally engineered to break your attention into a million little pieces, mastering this skill, well, it's less of a skill and more of a superpower. So let me ask you something. Have you ever gotten to the end of a long day at work and you are just completely wiped out, totally exhausted, but when you try to think back on what you actually got done, you come up empty? If you're not in your head right now, trust me, you are definitely not alone.
And that feeling, that frustration, it really comes down to a battle between two different kinds of work. On one side, you've got deep work. That's the intense, focused concentration that pushes your skills to the limit and creates real value. But on the other side, you have shallow work. All that busy work, you know? The endless emails, the constant pings, the quick phone calls. It makes you feel productive, but it doesn't actually move the needle. The whole game is learning how to protect the important stuff from all that noise.
And that right there is the real challenge, isn't it? Because most of us are caught in what you could call a shallow work epidemic. We're basically trapped by an addiction to just feeling busy.
Think about it. Our modern work culture, it kind of fuels this whole problem. You've got the open plan offices, the nonstop notifications from Slack or Teams. All of it encourages what the source material calls busyness as a proxy for productivity. It's this culture where being visibly active, like, shooting off a quick email reply just to show you're online, is often rewarded more than someone quietly sitting in a corner and producing incredible work. And all this constant task switching, it comes with a hidden cost, a cognitive penalty called attention residue. Okay, so imagine this. You're deep in thought, working on a complex project. Then you just quickly check an email about some minor issue. When you turn back to your project, your brain doesn't make a clean switch. A little piece of your attention, that's the residue, is still stuck on that email, and it completely hobbles your ability to think clearly.
And as the author Newport puts it, this residue is exactly what sabotages our best efforts to do deep, meaningful work. So the big takeaway here is that a quick glance at your phone or email is never, ever harmless. It's fracturing your focus, and it's degrading the quality of everything you do next.
So, okay, why does all this matter so much? Well, learning to overcome this isn't just about feeling a little less stressed out at the end of the day. There is a powerful, powerful economic reason to make focus your #1 career strategy.
And this brings us right to the core idea of the book, the deep work hypothesis. It's actually pretty simple. It says that the ability to do deep work is becoming incredibly rare right as it's becoming incredibly valuable. And that gap between rare and valuable creates a massive opportunity for anyone who's willing to actually cultivate this skill.
So who's going to win in this new economy? Well, the source material points to 3 specific groups. First, people who can work creatively alongside intelligent machines and AI. Second, the superstars, the people who are just the absolute best at what they do. And third, the owners who have the capital to invest in all this new technology. And how do you become one of those people? You need to master 2 core abilities. First, the ability to learn complicated things fast. And second, the ability to produce work at an elite level. We're talking top-tier quality and at a high speed. And the one thing that powers both of those abilities, you guessed it, deep work. This leads us to a really crucial, kind of blunt point. As the quote says, if you don't produce, you won't thrive. It's a stark reminder that just being talented or skilled isn't enough anymore. You have to be able to turn those skills into tangible, high-value results. In this economy, production is everything.
Okay, so we've covered the why pretty thoroughly. We get it. It's important. Now let's get into the good stuff, the how. The source material gives us a really clear playbook for this, and it's all built around 4 rules for focus.
So here they are, the 4 rules. Rule number 1, work deeply. This means building routines and rituals to protect your focus. 2, embrace boredom. You have to retrain your brain to stop needing constant stimulation. 3, quit social media, or at least be brutally honest and intentional about it. And finally, number 4, drain the shallows. This is all about systematically reducing the low-value tasks that eat up your day.
And hey, here's a really practical challenge for you, based on that 3rd rule. Try taking a 30-day break from any social media you suspect isn't adding real value to your life. And I don't just mean logging out. Delete the apps right off your phone. Then, after those 30 days are up, just ask yourself, would the last month have been significantly better if I'd been able to use it? The answer might really surprise you.
See, these rules aren't just about trying harder. They're about building systems. And there's a really important reason for that. As the quote says, our willpower is a finite resource. It's like a battery that drains throughout the day. And as it gets depleted, our brain naturally defaults to the easy stuff, the comfortable stuff, the shallow work.
And that leads us right into our next big idea. The goal here isn't to just grit your teeth and force yourself to focus. The goal is to build a system, a ritual, that makes deep work automatic. Because a good system will always beat willpower.
Now, the cool thing is, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. The book lays out 4 different philosophies you can adapt to your own life. You've got the monastic approach, basically going full hermit and eliminating almost all distractions. Then there's bimodal, where you split your time, maybe spending a few days completely offline and then a few days fully connected. The rhythmic style is about creating a simple chain-like daily habit. And finally, the journalistic approach is for people who can snatch deep work moments whenever they appear. Though, fair warning, that one's pretty advanced. A perfect example of that monastic philosophy? Look at the author Neil Stephenson. He's famous for being incredibly hard to contact. He has no public email. This isn't because he's a recluse. It's a very deliberate system designed to protect the single most valuable thing for his career: huge, uninterrupted blocks of time to just write.
All right, now for an idea that might sound a little crazy at first, but it is absolutely critical. To work intensely, you have to embrace doing nothing. Real, structured downtime isn't laziness. It's actually a vital part of being a top performer. So why does doing nothing work so well? Well, there are 3 big reasons. First, your downtime is when your subconscious mind gets to work, connecting ideas and delivering those aha moments. Second, it recharges the very energy you need for focused attention. And third, quality leisure time naturally crowds out all the useless, shallow stuff you might otherwise do.
So how do you actually do this? You create a shutdown ritual. This is a simple, consistent routine you do at the end of every workday to tell your brain, hey, we're done. It could be as easy as doing one last email check, moving any unfinished tasks to tomorrow's list, closing all your tabs, and then, and this part's important, actually saying a phrase out loud, something like shutdown complete. That verbal cue makes the transition from on to off feel real.
And the bottom line is this: by giving your mind that complete break, you're not wasting time. You're actually getting ready for the next day's battle. You're clearing out all that mental clutter so you have more brain power available for the thinking that truly matters.
And really, that's the core message of this whole philosophy, isn't it? We have to stop thinking that productivity is about the number of hours we spend at our desk. It's not. It's about the intensity of our focus and the value we create in the hours we do work.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. If you could actually protect even just a few hours of deep, uninterrupted focus every single week, what's the one amazing thing you could finally get done? Write that book, learn that new skill, launch that project you've been dreaming about. The potential is there. It's just waiting for you to focus.